In honor of my 5-year anniversary of starting One Bag Travels, I plan on doing a roundup of some of my favorite travel backpacks that I've looked at over the last 5 years. As I've improved my packing system over the years, reducing the size of the carry-on I generally travel with, I realized I've never looked at the smaller 30-liter size on the Peak Design travel backpack. So in preparation of my best travel bag roundup, today I wanted to give you a short preview on this bag. The Travel Backpack 30 is going to be the smaller cousin to the original full carry-on size travel backpack. This thing is actually a 27-liter pack in this unexpanded mode. Expansion zipper here pops this thing out to the full 30-liter capacity. Peak Design does a great job with their measurements. Their website is fairly accurate. I found the dimensions of about 21, 13.5 by 7 deep to be pretty much spot on, 53, 34, 18 centimeters. That's gonna make this work as a carry-on on almost every airline. However, it's not gonna quite fit in my 18 by 14 by 8 personal sizer box. Width and depth are good, but it's just a little bit too long. The capacity seems fairly accurate, 27 to 30 just looking at the bag, but I'll double check it by filling it with packing peanuts and transferring it into my marked container. All right, got the bag packed with peanuts here, including this front compartment. All right, as you can see, pretty much right on target here with the 27 liters in the unexpanded mode. Peak Design does a great job with their style and attention to detail, and the fabric and the hardware are great examples of this. They've kept the same durable 400 denier nylon, but they've added some new colors since the last time I reviewed the 45-liter backpack. This is the sage color here. It's extremely durable, stiff. It's treated with this DWR fabric, and it kind of has a rough texture. This bag has already made several trips, including a carry-on trip to Austin, Texas, and it basically still looks brand new. You can hardly tell there's any wear in this pack at all. The hardware is obviously great quality, large custom YKK zips, leather accents over here, and aluminum buckles on the sternum strap. The zippers aren't locking. You can lock them together with a micro lock pretty easily. They do have a system here for this main zipper where you can lock the zipper pulls together and it works fine. However, I think just using the micro lock is easier and offers you better protection. One of the design features I really like about this travel backpack is the sturdy shape. I took everything out of the bag. It's empty right now, and this thing is gonna stand up easily on its own, and it's gonna hold its shape and look pretty much the same, whether it's empty or full. The stiff fabric panels here on the side and back mean this bag is gonna be nice and firm. It's not gonna flop over on you. Really easy to pack the main compartment, but it's not so stiff. Still has some give, squish, and flexibility. From the outside, the style and aesthetic on this bag look really similar to the 45-liter pack. However, they made some key design changes that reduce a lot of the weight on this bag, bringing it down to a more reasonable 3.2 pounds or 1.5 kilograms. The 30-liter bag removes the large front organizational pocket. This removes a very large zipper. However, it gives you less room on the outside for your smaller gear. They accommodated for this by increasing the size of this top slash pocket. It's much more similar in size to their tech pouch now, with a lot of similar organizational features, including this zippered pocket here in the top with some stretchy dividers, and then several more dividers and pockets here on the bottom. This large organizing pocket is a great feature. However, this is pretty much the only exterior organization you have on this bag outside of the two side pockets. So if you have other small gear that you need access to, you're gonna have to rely on the internal organization or use a tech cube. These side water bottle pockets look great, they work great. Fabric covering here with a stretchy side. They're gonna pretty easily hold kind of any slimmer bottle that you wanna put in there, travel tripod, stuff like that. However, the ones on this 30-liter pack, they're just a little bit too small for these larger fat 1-liter Nalgene bottles. A lot of companies put random little loops in the outside of their pack with really no purpose or intention behind them. Peak Design, however, puts them in strategic locations and gives you these nice little straps for connecting gear. You can store them down here. There's a little secret pocket on the bottom of the front panel. 2 loops here. This thing stores with a magnetic clasp, so you can't even tell it's there. And you can attach these straps across the front, but the outside of the bag for larger gear. There's also a couple loops over here on the side as well as 2 on the back. You can cross these over the bag. You can use the fabric loops inside the pockets here for attaching a longer tripod or something like that. Now coming around back to the carry system, these shoulder straps are wide in the middle, thinner on the top, soft padding, but it's very thin. They're relying more on the shape and design on these straps fitting your shoulders well, rather than relying on a lot of thick padding. One feature that works well with this pack is the rivets on the top here. It's a multi-use purpose for stowing the straps, but also these allow the top of the straps to swivel and will fit a larger range of body shapes. The stowability is a good feature, probably not as necessary on a smaller pack like this as it is on the larger one. The straps are gonna switch around, tuck the bottom in, and then they're just gonna tuck behind this little back panel. There's no shoulder strap with this bag, so kind of your only option for carrying it once you tuck the straps away is gonna be briefcase mode with these side handles. This also lets you see the back panel really well. Again, it's soft yet firm foam padding, very thin, similar to the shoulder straps. Has some okay air ventilation over here and off here on the sides. You can also see luggage pass-through sleeve if you use this on a rolling suitcase, and then all the extra gear attachments here over on the sides. The smaller 30-liter pack doesn't come with the hip belt, while the larger bag does. Whether you're gonna need this or not is gonna depend largely on what you're carrying in this bag. If it's mostly for minimalist carry-on travel, clothes, gear, stuff like that, probably not gonna need it. However, this can double as a camera bag. So if you have a lot of heavy camera gear, equipment, laptop, then I would probably go with the hip belt. And then to see how this attaches, there's a small sleeve here behind the back panel with a little Velcro attachment. So this hip belt is just gonna slide right through here. They also have hinges so you can tuck them back behind this panel. Now moving to the interior organization on the travel backpack, this is what I consider to be a panel style opening bag, meaning this back panel opens lengthways, opens fully, giving you complete access to the large main compartment. One thing you'll immediately notice when opening this bag is that the panel is on the back side, meaning you have to lay the bag down on its front to get inside the main compartment. Compare that to another bag like the Air Travel Pack 3 here, same panel style design, but you're gonna be laying it down on the backpack straps and opening the panel from the front. I tend to prefer the panel style opening them from the front because I think it's more intuitive to lay the bag down on the back. However, the end result on these bags is essentially the same. Kind of one of the only downfalls I think on the Peak Design style of opening is if you have a laptop in here, the laptop's gonna be stored in this back compartment, so the panel that you're opening is gonna be rather heavy. The interior compartment on this bag is huge. Most of the volume on the pack is gonna be right here. Remember that stiff back side fabric and paneling is gonna keep this thing open for you so it's not gonna flop over. It's gonna be really easy to pack. There's a ton of further organization in here, lots of these little mesh pouches, 2 large ones on the bottom, and then 2 thinner pockets over here on the side. And then there's a bunch of little fabric gear loops around the edges for attaching the camera cubes. This design works really well, I think, for the 45-liter pack because it has that separate access on the front panel. It means you can get to these pockets really easily. However, this bag only has this one panel access here in the back. So in order to get to these pockets, you kind of have to pull out all your gear first. Last feature we have on the inside here is the laptop sleeve located on the lid. You can see from the side, this thing is modestly padded, thin but yet firm padding on the back, and another thin yet firm padding on the front. This thing is gonna hold up to a 16-inch laptop. This is my 15.5-inch Dell. Slides around a little bit in there, but these stretchy mesh corners are gonna hold this thing snug in there pretty good, and the Velcro tab is gonna keep it from shifting around. And you can see there's a false bottom down here to protect it from the bottom of the pack. And this is what I was talking about earlier. When you have your laptop in here, this is basically the lid on the bag, which you're gonna have to lift, open and close, lift your heavy laptop when trying to get into the main pack. Because of the large main compartment, this bag is really easy to pack. If you haven't tried them, the Peak Design packing cubes work really great, even on bags that aren't from Peak Design. They come in a few different sizes. They're very easy to open with this little pull tab. They have an expandable zipper, meaning they pop out huge. And they're also a clean, dirty cube, meaning when your clothes are dirty, transfer them from this side into this side as you go. They're designed, obviously, to fit perfectly in Peak Design packs. And if you don't pack these things too full, then you should have a little bit of extra room over here in the top for something small like a toiletry bag. And then you can see back here, if you don't have these cubes super full, you should have a couple inches of extra room in this back panel for something long and thin, like a jacket. The unexpanded volume is about 27 liters on this bag, and then you can see right here, this expansion zipper runs all the way around the bag. This thing is gonna pop it out about 1.5 inches and give you about 3 or 4 extra liters of volume. And this front pocket is fairly large, so you should have enough room in here for all your small gear and electronics if you go fairly minimalist. But remember, this is really the only external organization. So if you have anything more that's gonna fit in here, then you have to put it inside the main compartment. This is what the backpack looks like, fully packed out. Not super heavy, about 5.4 kilograms, 11.8 pounds. Enough gear in here for a good weekend carry-on trip. This is the bag on me, fully packed, sits well on my back, sits close to my shoulders without the need for top load adjusters. Remember, the backpack straps are gonna be thin, so they're gonna rely more on the shape fitting your shoulders rather than a ton of padding. And these things actually happen to fit my shoulders quite well. And then I don't have a ton of weight in this pack, so I don't really think I need the hip belt for this. However, if you have a laptop, electronics in there, then the hip belt option would be a good idea. In summary, the Peak Design Travel Backpack is a stylish, well-organized travel bag. It looks great, it's very well made with a ton of attention to detail. Their travel backpacks have a fairly high price point. However, I think you get a lot for your money with this pack compared to other bags that cost just as much or more that don't offer nearly as many features as this one. The biggest con for me on this pack is the rear opening panel style design. It makes it a little bit awkward to get into your gear, especially if you have a heavy laptop in this lid compartment. And then a lot of these pockets on the inside are really inaccessible without pulling out all your gear. And then the lack of a small gear organization on this bag, or really just this front pocket, might force you to rely on putting tech cubes in the main compartment. I hope you enjoyed my review on the Peak Design 30-liter travel backpack. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. And again, thanks for watching.